So you're on a mission to feel again. You want to cry like Deku in 90% of Hero Academia? Or Sakura in all of Naruto? Well, look no further. I've got a few anime here that might do the trick. First is When Marnie Was There. This one comes from Studio Ghibli, the studio behind other powerhouse titles such as Princess Mononoke, Grave of Fireflies, and Spirited Away. We follow Anna Sasaki, a young girl suffering from frequent asthma attacks, social anxiety, self-loathing, plus her parents are dead. Yeah. So her adopted mother decides to send her to a more rural area, hoping it will be good for her asthma and anxiety. Anna engages in her passion for sketching, spending her summer living with her aunt and uncle in a small town near the sea. Once there, Anna finds herself drawn to an old abandoned mansion. Strangely, the mansion seems to come alive during the high tide, and it's there Anna meets Marnie, a blonde, blue-eyed girl whose bubbly demeanor slowly begins to draw Anna out of her shell. A big part of why this film works so well is that the characters are well written. Anna is highly sympathetic based on what she's going through, but she can also be quite nasty and lash out at others. Marnie is similarly a largely sympathetic character, but we do get to see her mischievous side and her flaws. When Marnie Was There is a beautiful film about what it's like to feel alone. This film is beautifully crafted from the animation standpoint. There is incredible movement, scenery, and music throughout the film. Character designs were not only expressive, but uniquely stylistic. The credit song especially added heavy emotional force to the movie. Ending the movie on a high note, it sent me into a serious Sakura moment. I highly recommend this movie not only for anyone who can relate to the struggle of social anxiety, but anyone who can also appreciate a well-constructed coming-of-age story. There are few out there that can match the realism, character development, and aesthetic beauty of When Marnie Was There. Next is Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinjuu. You may recognize this opening as it is the intro I used for some of my earlier Should You Watch episodes. I have to admit, this show took me by storm. As I was writing this, just from the mere memory of this anime, it still gets me extremely teary-eyed. Coming into this series, I had little knowledge about Rakugo. Rakugo is a traditional Japanese form of storytelling using creative dialogues, expressions, and body language. The period of Rakugo that this story covers is right in the title, the Showa Era. The story begins with a petty convict named Yotaro being released from prison. Yotaro was able to survive and reform in prison due to, in part, the amazing stories and performances of his favorite Rakugo actor, who went by the name Yakumo VIII. So once released, Yotaro decided to find the elderly Rakugo master and become his apprentice. A series of events occur, and Yotaro convinces the master to take him as his apprentice. Yotaro's youthful energy and enthusiasm reminds Yakumo, whose name actually turns out to be Bon, of an old, long-since departed friend. So this is not a story about an ex-Yakuza's road to redemption. Initially, almost the entirety of the first season takes place in a flashback, showing the lives of Bon and his childhood friend Shin, who eventually takes the title Sukuroku II. The characters in this show are fantastic, they're brilliantly written, and almost everyone plays a very important role in the storytelling. The finale is one of the most nostalgic finales in existence. Constant callbacks to events that occurred throughout season 1 and 2, truly bringing the story full circle. No matter what, Rakugo has never had an episode that didn't make me feel at least engaged and thoroughly entertained. This anime is not for everyone. People who are usually into the more energetic and fast-paced genres might not enjoy this, but I would still recommend it to you because it's really just that good. I promise you won't regret it. Next is Parasite the Maxim. Parasites have invaded Earth, their main priority, take over human bodies and use them as hosts. Controlling their bodies and minds, these fierce creatures can alter the human bodies in unnatural and superhuman-like ways in order to kill and feed on humans. The story starts by first introducing our main character, Shinichi Izumi, who immediately gets attacked by a parasite which burrows into his right arm, which later he names Migi, failing to take over his brain. Migi has no other choice but to rely on Shinichi in order to stay alive. Shinichi and Migi's relationship can be seen as the bridge between both species. They stand in the crossfire and both adapt and grow accustomed to each other. And because they were the focal point of the story, seeing their interaction and partnership flourish is really satisfying. What makes this series' story stand out quite a bit is the ability to convey human nature and focus on more than just outlandish battles for survival. It shows the best and worst of what humans can do. We are made to believe that the parasites are the apex evil, but throughout the duration of this show, the viewer is questioned on what it means to be human, what makes humans different than other species, and slaps the truth of human cruelty right onto our faces. Parasite was one of those titles that kept me hooked from beginning to end. It was action-packed, had nice tension, great character dynamics, and always left me wanting more. It made for great binge-watching material. Overall, Parasite is a show that I feel most everyone would enjoy. This last anime here I feel should come with a warning, may induce ugly crying. Anohana is about 6 childhood friends. The death of one member of this childhood circle of buddies drove them apart at a young age. Fast forward 10 years, the 5 remaining friends are now in high school. Jintei Yarami, the group's former leader, is now recluse and rarely attends school. One summer day, his long-deceased childhood friend Menma returns after many summers. Jinta believes the spirit of Menma is nothing more than a figment of his overstressed mind, but as time passes he realizes she's really there. He can't overlook her anymore. The story revolves around Jinta and his childhood friends attempting to fulfill her wish. The only problem is that they don't understand what it is. This event has forced the friends to gather once more to help each other confront their guilt about what happened on the day that their young friend's life was cut short. The main characters are all suffering from Menma's death in their own unique ways and conflicted with their own inner struggles. Anohana was a fantastic emotional story of loss that struck all the right chords. Anyone who has or hasn't abruptly lost someone premature in their lives can relate to this series. What it does very well. I really started empathizing with the characters like I knew exactly what tragedy they had gone through. All of the characters and their motives made sense. It made for one enjoyable experience. This is definitely a must-watch. Few honorable mentions, Your Name and A Silent Voice. I didn't add these as I think most people have seen them unless you're new to anime. These two are definitely worth your time. Lastly, there are a few anime that can induce tears from laughter. These are the dishonorable mentions: Osamu Game, School Days, Ghost Story, specifically the dub, and last but certainly not least, the Ito Junji collection. If you're looking for a good laugh, check out any of these anime. Let me know in the comments below of any more tear-jerking anime I may have missed. As always, remember to subscribe for more, and yeah, I hope to see you in the next one.